Finals. Results from the first round against opponents who also progressed carried through. So both of these teams start with a 1-on-1 record, with their other wins having come against teams that are now eliminated and don't count at this stage. It's the opening day of the second round of the 2015 FIBA Asia Championship here in Changsha. The Philippines finalists on home soil 2 years ago, and Japan 7-time finalists themselves, both looking for a third straight win on this court and a win that could prove pivotal in their quarter-final push. Analyst Paulo Kennedy alongside me, Tim Long. What kind of contest are we in store for here today?
Well, as I said before, the previous game, I'm expecting a physical one, an intense contest. The key question for me today is, can Japan meet that physical test? You see Andre Blatch running out there. He's perhaps the biggest test of all if the Philippines can use him close to the basket. The Philippines have also got some fantastic quick wing players. So what I think they need to do is they need to be unpredictable defensively. If this athletic Philippines team can run and gun and stun and have some fun, they're going to run all over Japan today with their size, their strength, their athleticism. But if Japan can make them do things they're not comfortable with, change things up, make their guards be playmakers in situations they're not comfortable with, then maybe Japan are a chance. As we see Ranadal Campo coming out, he's going to be important. And that man, Tav Baldwin, will be important as well. He's coached a number of international teams, New Zealand, Lebanon, Jordan. Now he's with the Philippines. He was an assistant coach last year at the FIBA Basketball World Cup with the Philippines, and they produced a stunning upset over Croatia. They had a number of near misses. We talk about Japan as well, and I think one thing they have to do is they have to give Joji Takeuchi some help on the boards. Here is the big fella coming out. He was very impressive against India with 22 points and 19 rebounds. But with Andre Blatch inside, he's going to have his work cut out getting those sorts of numbers again. Perhaps his job's got to be to keep Blatch off the boards. Then his teammates need to sweep in and help him out a little bit. But for me, this game may well be won on the wings, where the Philippines have Hontiveros, Norwood, Abueva, Guanuelos. They're such energetic players. Can Japan match up on them?
There's an intriguing match coming up. First, we'll pause for the national anthems, starting with the Philippines.
So, please bring us standing for the national anthem of Japan.
Japan started with a bruising 38-point loss to Iran before showing an incredible response on game day 2. with a 71-point win over Malaysia, notching 119 points in the process before then beating India by 18. The Philippines, shocked by Palestine in their first ever game in the competition on the opening day, have recovered in style themselves with a 51-point win over Hong Kong and then a 46-point win over Kuwait. As we see the officials for this contest, back-to-back wins for both teams here, momentum building towards the quarter-finals. Which team will continue their upward curve? Which will be stopped in their tracks? Alongside me, expert analyst Paulo Kennedy to guide you through the team rosters.
And we see the Philippines first, and everybody knows the two stars of that team are Andre Blatch and Jason Castro, who's listed as Jason William on the roster, but has taken on his mother's surname of Castro. Those two are incredibly important players. So are the speed on the wings with Gabe Norwood and co. But I think tonight, perhaps just as important, will be the likes of Ronaldel Del Campo and Mark Pingras inside, the big, strong bodies. Because I think that the Japanese defense is going to be scrambling. They've got to cover the speed of Castro. They've got to cover the size of Blatch. So they're going to be rotating, helping each other. And that's going to open up offensive rebounding opportunities. And I think that's where the likes of Del Campo, who we see there starting at the power forward position, I think himself, Pingras will be very important, but also the likes of Norwood and Hontiveros. They're athletes. They can get in there and get on the offensive board. So I think using that physicality and athleticism is going to be a key for the Philippines tonight. When it comes to Japan, let's talk about speed, because zero at the top there, Yuta Tabusi. He was a revelation against India 2 days ago, and his backup, Ryoma Hashimoto, he has been probably the #1 defensive pest in the tournament so far. He is the Energizer Bunny. He gets up and in for every second that he's on the court. Those two have got a huge job to do. They're going to be matching up with Castro and Terence Romeo, who are just as quick as they are. And so for them to generate that pace, they're going to have to win that battle. We see Tabusi in the starting lineup. And in the middle, Joji Takeuchi. We talked about his work on the boards, but he's not just a rebounder. 22 points against India. It was a Pau Gasol-like performance. He hit from the mid-range. He drove and finished on both hands. He found teammates with nice passes. So he's got a speed mismatch against whichever Philippines front court player plays on him today. Let's see how well Japan can use his advantage.
Yeah, don't blink or you might miss some of the point guard play in this one. Japan against the Philippines coming up, and a really important contest this in terms of making your way through towards the quarter-finals. The Philippines, of course, come into this as silver medal holders, and Japan looking to rediscover their glory years and have put together a wonderful response after losing to Iran on game 1.
And for those who didn't see the day 1 results, the Philippines were stunned by Palestine in one of the first games of the tournament, and that has put them behind the 8 ball. So instead of coming into the second round carrying a 2-0 record, as most people suspected, they are 1-1. Now, if they can take today's game, I'd say they've got 1 foot in the quarterfinals, but a loss, they've got a run in their next game, and it would mean they probably have to beat the defending champions to keep their quarterfinal hopes alive.
Just to embellish how huge a game this is for the Philippines and for Japan, two teams coming in off back-to-back wins and hoping to keep that momentum going towards a place in the final 8. We're already in China for the first day of the second round of the 2015 FIBA Asia Championship. Myself, Tim Long, alongside analyst Paulo Kennedy to talk you through the action. The 5th most successful team in tournament history set to take on the 2nd most successful in the competition. 2-time champions and 7-time finalists Japan against 5-time champions, 8-time finalists and reigning silver medal holders the Philippines. It is the Philippines who are looking for the first point, with Blatch as it knocked away, able to grab it. Still 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Long 2 for Andre Blatch is right on the money.
Tough shot. And in the first 2 games, we've seen Blatch shoot a lot of 3-pointers or a lot around the basket. I love the fact they ran that play to get him the ball in the high post first up.
Japan looking to respond. Tabusi. There's contact under the basket.
Foul on Hontiveros there. trying to keep up with Furukawa, and we saw how dangerous he was against India. You can't give him space, or he's going to lock and load and hit a three-pointer.
Hiroshima will inbound. Knocked away and out of bounds, still Japan ball.
And Ota out of the starting lineup for Japan, Arao into the lineup, so a slightly smaller, more mobile front court.
Hiroshima to inbound again, 9 left to shoot here. Takeuchi hands it off, shot clock down to 4 now. Tabuse's got to use some of that pace, trying to get away from Blatch. And the shot off the mark. Good defense to start for the Philippines.
Yeah, good job from big Andre Blatch. People say he's not in premium condition, but he did a good job staying in front of Tabuse on that possession.
Gabe Norwood to bring the ball over half court for the Philippines. Here's Hontiveros over to the far side. Jason Castro. Blatch battling for the board, able to grab it as well, able to find a pass. And put in by Don Hontiveros.
Athletic shot from Hontiveros. He faded to the left, but still had the composure to make the pull-up.
Here's Jima, back to Arao. Let's see if Japan can finally get going. They move it in towards Furukawa. Nice swivel from him, offensive ball, grabbed by Arao. A fresh 14 to work with. A foul on Hontiveros, that's his second.
And that's Takeuchi's game. He drew the foul there. He's slippery, he's got those little up fakes, he's got a quick first step. And they're going to need him to be aggressive. He can't just settle for jump shots. He needs to try and draw some fouls.
An inevitable seat for Hontiveros. 2 fouls in 91 seconds. Into the game comes Calvin Abueva. Takeuchi hands it off to Tabuse. Back to Takeuchi, trying to get away from Blatch. Spins away, hand in his face, and can't get the shot to drop.
That's a tough move. He was unlucky that didn't drop, but for the second time we saw the high pick and roll between Takeuchi and Tabuse.
Norwood into Blatch. Turns to face the basket. Looking to attack here against Arao. He's going to back up for the long 2. 2 of 2 from downtown for Andre Blatch, both of them long rangers.
And your description spot on, the long 2, 18 feet. He is so deadly from that range.
Tabuse. Furukawa. Takeuchi spinning towards the basket. Can't get it to go, and the rebound grabbed by De Ocampo. Abueva. He's fouled in transition by Furukawa.
Smart foul, and Japan don't want to let the athletic Philippines wingmen get out, get some dunks, get some fast break layups, and start feeling good about themselves. The Philippines have at times struggled in the half court, so Japan have got to make themselves prove that they can score in that situation.
Norwood gets it in. Here's Blatch again, a little further away from the basket this time. Still looking to attack, trying to bundle his way through, hangs it up. More difficult shot that time won't go. Japan secure the defensive rebound. Now they can come in transition with Tabuse. Hiroshima moves it on, so does Furukawa. Arao. Nice bounce pass. And got a hand up, did De Ocampo, and a foul.
And that was so smart from Takeuchi. He shaped like he was setting a back screen for Furukawa to come off and then dive to the basket and caught De Ocampo napping.
So nearly 3 minutes without a field goal for Japan, but they get a chance to get on the board from the foul line. And Takeuchi gets the first point on the board for them. Tab Baldwin's team had started with a 6-0 run. 2 of 2 from the foul line for Takeuchi. Castro. Abueva. Jason Castro moves it on to Norwood, into De Ocampo. Looking for Andre Blatch, who cuts in off the baseline. Pinpoint precision on the assist, and Blatch puts it in and now has 6 points. There's a 3 for Japan, first field goal of the game to halve the deficit.
With see the first bit of pressure up the court from Tabuse. He gets the ball out of the hands of Jason Castro on that occasion.
Blatch across to Norwood. Castro's going to drive in through a heap of bodies and lays it up and in.
Exquisite ball movement from the Philippines. Early double team on Blatch. He recognised it. 3 passes later, Jason Castro's at the basket.
It's another 3 for Japan. Not that time. Blatch with the rebound. Norwood finds Blatch behind the back from Blatch. Long 2 again from him. Short this time. Tabuse getting to the foul line. Arau, they back off him. He takes on the shot, can't hit.
That's probably the third very makeable shot that Japan have missed. So while they're down 5, they'll believe that their execution is working for them.
They're just 1 of 7 from the field so far. Blatch setting the screen, receives it on the perimeter. He can shoot the 3-2. Not this time though.
And after he hit his first couple, he's continued to fire. I think they need to get that variety, get him inside under the basket as well, as we get an offensive foul away from the ball on Furukawa.
So Japan turn it over and the Philippines have a chance to extend their lead. It's a second on Furukawa. They've already had 2 fouls, or the Philippines have had 2 fouls on Hontiveros, so a couple of players in early foul trouble.
And just going back to Andre Blatch, they get him in that pick and pop situation. They can mix that up, get him to slip the screen like Takeuchi did at the other end, and then get him the ball on a pin underneath the basket.
There, Campo. Abueva gets towards the basket, gets hit hard, very nearly got it to roll in.
And that's twice now they've got a great result from going to Dio Campo in the low block, having some action away from the ball. Last time it was Blatch who got open, this time it was Abueva.
Calvin Abueva at the line after 10 points and 8 boards in game 3. 8 points and 6 boards in game 2. The Philippines looking to open up a 7-point gap again, and do. Midway point of the first quarter. Tabuse receives it back here, moves it on to Matsui again. Lovely crossover and down the baseline. Couldn't get it to go though, Hiroshima. Blatch came across and did just about enough.
Matsui into the game in all the first round games. As soon as he was substituted in, they ran a play for him to get a 3-pointer. So let's see if there's something coming here.
Tabuse looking to drive down the lane, high off the glass, no good. Norwood will come away with it. Tangled up on half court, steps back over half court, and a backcourt violation.
A nice impromptu trap there from Hiroshima, stepped up defensively, and he has been an energy man. He and Hirose for Japan have really provided some spark for them so far this tournament.
Tabuse handed it back by Hiroshima. Handed it back for a second time on the perimeter in a foul. It's on Castro.
And twice in a row, Tabuse has missed Matsui coming off screens open. Matsui just went over, had a little word in his ear, said, "Get me the ball, I'm feeling good."
Tabuse inbounds, finds Arau. Receives it back again. Let's see if he can find something here. Knocked away from Hiroshima. Japan with just 5 points in 5.5 minutes. Behind the back from Blatch again. Starting to feel it now.
He was handling that ball like it was a yo-yo.
Castro moved on by De Campo. Abueva to Blatch. On the turn, off the mark. Tabuse moving it forward. Receiving it back, will shoot from mid-range and will knock it down.
And Matsui says, "You might have missed me, but I'm not gonna miss you." Pinpoint pass across the floor in transition, and he sets up the 2.
5-point game as Norwood moves it into the big man again. Blatch backing into the paint. Back out to the outside to Abueva, fired back in as he tries to pirouette away from Arau. And there's contact from the number 17.
And the screen action the Philippines have been running on the other side from the low post, they've got 2 scores out of it. That time the double team was hesitant to come to Blatch because of that action happening on the other side of the key.
Blatch will take a seat, 6 points, 3 rebounds and an assist in the opening 6 minutes. Castro to Toss, who's into the game and able to get the hook shot to go.
Tough finish, and he's got an early entry into the game ahead of Tar Lover, who's usually the first backup centre into the ball game.
Hiroshima trying to squeeze it in off the glass and did. Castro. Screen set by Toss. It goes to Abueva in the corner for 3. Can't hit. Final 3 minutes of the first quarter. Bit of contact under the rim. The play goes on. Takeuchi comes to receive it now. Cross to the far side. They'll put it up. And it's well short.
Blocked by Gabe Norwood there.
Castro going through the gears. Abueva following an in, can't finish. Let's see if Japan can close the gap. It's been around 5 points for a while.
And in that span, the Philippines have had a number of opportunities, a number of makeable baskets, and that last one driving to hole, that's a shot they would normally make. And Abueva with a wide open 3 in the corner. I think as the tournament goes on, not just this game, but against Iran as well, he's going to have to hit that shot from the 3-point line. So's Norwood. They've got to have people to spread the defense out.
Yuta Tabuse makes his way to the line. 5 points in each of the first 2 games, followed by 10 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds, and 3 steals in that big performance against India. In game 3, was 5 of 11 from the field.
We've talked about him making his debut in this tournament at 34 years of age, and it was almost like the first 2 games he was feeling the tournament out, finding his way, and then he came out against India with all sorts of energy. He was a different player.
Norwood for 3. A miss, but a rebound for Toss. Romeo into the game. Another player who's got electric pace. Out to Norwood. Norwood driving into the lane and then putting it up. Can't hit. Here come Japan looking to close the gap to just 1, and they do.
Tough finish, and the Philippines now 6 of 16 from the field after their hot start.
Abueva. Able to wriggle away from 2. Can't get the shot to drop though. There's a battle for the board, and it's Matsui who comes away with it. Waiting for support to arrive. The 3 for Japan is good, and they come from behind to lead as Hiroshima knocks it down from the outside.
Hiroshima up to 7 points. We saw the tough drive before. That time he had the confidence to just stop in transition and bury the triple.
Romeo off the mark from mid-range. And here they come in transition again with Tabuse. And it goes to Matsui, or to Takeuchi rather, and there's a foul on Norwood.
Free throws to come.
Philippines over the foul limit. Here's the go-ahead 3.
And where this game has swung has been the impatience of the Philippines. Rushing quick shots. They were getting opportunities early in the offense, good opportunities at the start of the quarter. When those dried up, they haven't had the patience to keep working through their sets and get good looks.
Takeuchi out the line, hits the first and extends the Japanese lead to 3. "22 points and 19 boards in game 3 against India for him. 9 of 18 from the field. 12 points and 5 boards in game 2, and a double-double, 10 points, 11 boards in the opening day defeat to Iran. He's been very impressive at these championships. Romeo out to Abueva. He's going to try the 3 again, and he misses it again. And the Philippines are 0 of 5 from downtown.
And again, Abueva took that 3-point shot with just 8 seconds taken off the shot clock. They had 16 more seconds. They could have worked the ball for a better shot, and he's not that high a percentage 3-point shooter that he should be firing that early in the offense.
Romeo, really difficult shot. That's 9 misses in a row from the field for the Philippines. A drought towards the end of the first quarter. An 11-0 Japan run. Matsui. Now Hiyajima.
Good defense.
The shot clock down to 8 and an offensive foul from Hiyajima.
And we look at the stats, in fact, and Abueva hasn't hit a 3-point basket yet in the tournament, but what he does well is defend. He's a prime-time athlete, defense, rebounding, that's his go. And that, on that occasion, fantastic job of not allowing Hiyajima to use the ball screen. Forced him to the baseline, and eventually, when he kept coming, drew the offensive charge foul.
33.6 remaining in the first. Japan lead, 18-14. Here comes Romeo at pace. Looking to go all the way, looking to slice through the defense, but can't finish.
Just 6 seconds off the shot clock that time, and I'm sure Tab Baldwin's going to have some stern words to his guards, especially at quarter time.
That's been the criticism of Romeo at these championships. His shooting percentage as he comes up with another miss.
Oh, what a pass.
Couldn't quite reel it in though. It was knocked away from Takeuchi right at the end of the shot clock. They'll tip it towards the basket again. And the Philippines come away with it, but don't have time to get the shot away. Suffocated towards the end of the first quarter. They missed their last 10 field goal attempts, the Philippines. And Japan finished the quarter with an 11-0 run to turn a deficit into a 4-point lead. They lead at the end of one, 18-14.
Well, it all looked good for the Philippines early on. They got two baskets early from Andre Blatch. They were going into Dio Campo in the low block, and he was finding people for scores, and it looked as if they'd stepped up a level from their first round performance. As we look at the rebounding stats, 13-11, Japan just in front. But as the quarter wore on, they started to fall back into those bad habits we saw in the opening round. Quick shots, players not going to their strengths. And Japan with 4 turnovers we see there. That's probably been the only thing that's allowed the Philippines to initially get their lead and now still be within 4 points at the first break.
Andre Blatch started the game ever so well as the Philippines ended up leading by 7. He had 6 early points. A couple of field goals from long range, but Japan quickly turned it around. A couple of players you highlighted for the Philippines during the commentary who perhaps took ill-advised shots early on in the shot clock. Calvin Abueva, 0 of 4 from the field. Terence Romeo, 0 of 3 from the field.
Yeah, and that hurts them because not only are they early shots, or not only do they miss those shots, but their teammates don't get a touch, and the Japanese defense doesn't have to work. So when that shot misses, their opponents are ready to fly down the floor and score in transition, and I don't think the Philippine transition defense was quite where it needed to be either. And there was probably a lot for Tab Baldwin to talk about, and a lot of it is just attitude. You know, compliance to the team system, compliance to the team rules, get the ball through hands, and get the ball to Andre Blatch in positions where he can score, because that makes Japan double team and scramble.
Japan 18, the Philippines 14 at the start of the second quarter. Japan looking to extend their lead and keep their momentum going. Tabuse. They're going to shoot the 3 with Hiyajima. Can't hit. He's first to his own rebound though, and then throws it into the hands of Abueva. Abueva coming quickly down court. A quick shot again, but this time it's good for Abueva and a chance to add 1 from the line.
It was a quality finish, and that's the difference. That was a transition opportunity. Rather than getting the ball into the half court and just firing up a quick shot. At the same time, I'd be interested to, Tab Baldwin standing there at the moment with his hands in his pockets. He's one of those ones where any shot that goes in is a good shot, but I'm not sure he'd be completely happy with the decision-making process.
And Arao becomes the 4th player onto 2 fouls, along with Furukawa for Japan and Castro and Hontiveros for the Philippines, as the 3-point play is completed to make it a 1-point game. Tabuse taking his time. Knocked away by Romeo from behind, and it's a turnover.
And the Philippines need that sort of defensive energy from Romeo. He's not your natural point guard who'll control the game with his smarts. He's an energy guy, and he's got to spark their offense from the defensive end.
Canuelas into the game at the start of the second quarter, inbounding to Romeo. Pingris also into the game. Blatch, 6 early points. Thought about the long 2 again, drives inside this time. Couldn't finish, trying to grab his own rebound, knocked away and out of bounds, Japan ball.
And we talk about all the woes of the Philippines. Blatch now 3 of 8, and a lot of them have been very makeable shots. We saw on opening day against Palestine in the first quarter, he was making shots like that as if they were the easiest basket in the world.
And the Philippines shooting just 29% so far from the field. That one is good for Ono, who's also just come into the game. Romeo. Waiting for a waiver to come and take it. On the perimeter, looking to spin into the paint. Back out to Blatch. Another miss from him, so 3 of 9 from the field.
I think the Philippines need to get Castro back into the game. You know, he at least gives them a little bit of direction, and when he gets into the lane, he can finish where Romeo has struggled.
Getting completely free under the hoop to finish is Hijima, found by the nice pass. He now has 9.
And the Philippines may be the reigning silver medalists, but this is quite a different team, and they are struggling for cohesion at both ends of the floor at the moment. There's no way their defense should be giving up such an easy bucket.
Blatch misses another one. And he is really personifying their struggle at the moment.
Philippines in a zone defense here.
Hijima fakes the pass, can't hit the 3. Rebound grabbed by Pingris. Romeo. They could really do with the score. Blatch comes to set the screen. Romeo goes into the paint, looking for Blatch now. Blatch looking behind the back again. He's done that a few times and fouled, and he's hurt.
Himself here. This may be an ankle. There was a nasty jerking motion there. He may have stepped on someone's foot. Have a look at the replay. Oh, just rolled, stepped on the front of his own foot and rolled over the top of it. And there's a lot of weight transferring through the ankle at that point. That could be a huge blow for the Philippines. Now, he hasn't played particularly well so far today, but he's the sort of player who can score 6, 8, 10 points in a row and change a ball game.
21 points, 12 boards in game 1, 17 points and 8 boards in game 2, 8 and 8 in game 3. He is one of their star players, if not their standout superstar. Well, and real concern for coach Tab Baldwin.
Even looking today, when Andre Blatch has been on the court, the Philippines have outscored Japan by 4 points. When he's been off the court, they've been outscored by 9 points.
A key player, no doubt. Let's hope that Andre Blatch can continue. Romeo puts it up. That'll help them if he can start scoring.
Well, he's electric when he's on. The problem is that when he's off, he does some damage to the team because he does take those quick shots and he doesn't get his teammates involved as much as a point guard perhaps should.
Spinning into the paint. Hesitating with the shot, but putting it in is Yuma Ono, and he's got a couple of field goals off the bench.
Ono's been very impressive, not just making the basket, but his composure once he gets inside the key to throw an up fake and just able to put the ball up soft.
Taulava, the 42-year-old centre, into the game. Edging his way pretty easily into the paint, but then using too much force and turning the ball over. Called for the offensive foul.
A real test for the Philippines here. You know, they're looking around. They need some leadership. That's why I think Castro has to come back into the ball game. They're running out of ideas, and the things that came out of that quarter-time huddle, they haven't worked so far. They need another approach.
There's Ono again. 6 points off the bench, 3 of 3 from the field in just a few minutes on court, and Japan lead by 7, and the Philippines are going to have to call timeout 3.5 minutes into the second quarter.
And that's Japan on a 21-7 run since the Philippines led 12-5 midway through the first quarter. So it has been domination ever since that point, and it hasn't been just one player. We see there's 6 Japanese players on the scoreboard, playing some quality team basketball, and perhaps not the players you'd necessarily expect.
The Philippines struggling against Japan, who were looking for 3 straight wins here and looking to move within touching distance of the quarterfinals at the FIBA Asia Championships. And a few problems for the Philippines. We saw just before that ad that they have 6 points and 4 rebounds to lead the way in both of those categories from Andre Blatch, as well as 1 assist from their star player, and he is struggling now with an injury. So Taulava into the game, already been called for an offensive foul. And now they have to come from behind without their star man. Taulava, back to Castro. They need him to start firing. He's going to pull up for the 3, Jason Castro, too long. Taulava battling for the board, able to get fingertips to it and grab it, but then can't walk the tightrope to stay in.
He received a nice shove in the back there. It was missed. And that's a big fella who almost landed in the lap of the fans. The 42-year-old veteran, still playing with a bit of energy.
They call him the Rock in the Philippines. And I think the advertising board came off worse from that one.
Philippines in a zone.
That's a 3 that is right on the money for Ono, who has come off the bench for 4 of 4 shooting and 9 points.
No, I don't think that Tab Bourbon can stay in this zone defense too much longer. They don't look like a team that practices a lot of zone.
Castro hoping to eat into the first double-digit lead of the game, and Gabe Norwood answers back with a 3 for the Philippines.
Finally, a little bit of patience there. Nice create late in the shot clock to Norwood, who is ready to fire. And I think they also need to get Hontiveros back into the ball game. He's got 2 fouls, but he's too important for them to sit out all the way until half-time.
The Rock wrestling on the canvas to win the ball for the Philippines. The 42-year-old comes up with a big steal.
And the Philippines not down and out, but before that 3-pointer from Norwood, the referee was starting to think about making a count because they've been struggling at both ends. Japan's defense has been high intensity. They've had the answer for this on-ball screen.
They'll shoot the 3 here. This would get them close. Can't hit though. Rebound Takeuchi. Across the midway point of the second quarter, it's still just a 7-point game. Matsui into the corner, collected low and then fed into the path of Takeuchi, who lost the handle on the ball. Back out to the perimeter. Off the mark from Tabuse, difficult shot.
And you see Japan not really contesting the offensive boards on that situation. They just want to get back in defensive transition and make the Philippines beat them in the half court.
The attack from the far side with De Ocampo, who rides the challenges and puts it in.
That's a strong drive from De Ocampo. He's capable of that. And I think so far too many of his teammates have just settled for the outside shot instead of taking it into the interior like De Ocampo did there.
A timeout called by Japan. The Philippines, with Andre Blatch out injured, have halved the double-digit deficit down to 5.
Well, we've told a tale of woe over the last 10 minutes for the Philippines, but they're only 5 points behind here. They've got Hontiveros to come back into the game, and we talked earlier about the importance of their wing players, and in particular Gabe Norwood and Hontaveros, they're so important. And if you look at the record of Gabe Norwood, he's playing in his 4th FIBA Asia Championship. He is one of the, the rocks of this team. But he's only scored in double figures 6 times in 25 games for the Philippines. He's more talented than that. This is the game now with Blatch on the bench where he needs to step up and be more assertive. There's Takeuchi. He had a promising start, but his teammates have been getting the job done. He hasn't had to impose himself on the game in this second quarter.
4 points for Takeuchi. He's missed all 3 shots from the field. Andrew Blatch, 3 of 11 from the field before having to sit with that ankle injury. Still the leading scorer in the game for the Philippines. Japan 29, Philippines 24 as we come back from the timeout. 4 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the first half.
Some back to man, the Philippines, and an aggressive approach up the court. Shot clock already at 8. They haven't started their offense.
They'll have to get going now. It's Ono looking for another one, his first miss of the game. And the rebound grabbed by Romeo. Looking to come up court quickly. Good transition defense on that occasion from Japan. De Campo off the side of the backboard, grabbed by Ono. Ono onto Furukawa. Hassled and harried by Ganuelas. Across to the far side, they'll feed it in to Takeuchi. Taulava got back and got a hand in the way. Norwood. The Philippines looking to make it a 1-possession game now.
He's clearing out. He's got a mismatch. But a good job by Tabusi to get a hand on the basketball.
Back against Tabusi now. He's going to put it up from just beyond the foul line. Can't hit. And a foul under the basket on Taulava.
Great hustle.
Takeuchi, I beg your pardon.
Great hustle from Taulava. And we talked just a moment ago about Norwood being more assertive. Great to see him spot the mismatch, go to it once. It got deflected. He called it back, went to the shot again. It didn't drop, but I think the Philippines, he's going to have to take 10, 12, 15 field goal attempts today.
Norwood to inbound into Romeo. Final 3 minutes of the first half. Taulava making a move towards the basket. Romeo's pass picked off. It's a 3-on-2 break here for Japan, and they can't make the most of it.
A really good job by Jason Castro that time. Just splitting the 2 offensive players, making Hiyojima make the decision, and he made the wrong one. We saw at the other end of the floor, Romeo getting into the lane, making a bad pass. I think it needs to be Castro more often than not, being the guy coming off these screens and getting in towards the paint.
De Campo for 3, makes it just a 2-point game.
And just when Castro has the ball, there looks like there's a little bit of organisation about the team, and it's amazing how more often the shot drops when it's a pass that the teammate is expecting, he's ready to shoot, and he can lock and load.
Japan, that's a nice pass. Blatch is back in the game and was in the way of that one, knocked away and out of bounds. Still Japan ball.
Baldwin back to his starters, except Hontaveros still on the bench with 2 fouls. It looks like he's saving him for the second half.
7 left on the shot clock as it comes into a rout. Furukawa, shot clock down to 3. Furukawa driving, has to get it away. Not sure he got it away in time. Blatch able to grab it.
Some great defense from De Campo, switching the screen.
Romeo wide open for 3 and can't hit. That would have given the Philippines the lead. Furukawa at the other end, off the mark as well. There's the drive, strong, aggressive move from Castro, who went down looking at the official, wanting a foul. Across to the corner. They put it up and it rattles halfway down and then comes back out again.
This game's going at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Castro, the blur, will put the finishing touch on the frenzy period of this game.
That man always goes at 1,000,000 miles an hour, but Tab Baldwin would be delighted to be level at 29 after such a poor span across the first and second quarters. It's a good spot for the Philippines.
4 minutes without a score for Japan, a 10-0 Philippines run, and Japan able to end it and retake the lead. Final minute of the first half. They're looking to level it with Castro driving forward again. And he will go to the line to try and tie us up with a minute of the first half to play.
And it's just a world of difference when it's Castro coming off the horn set, the screens at the top of the key, compared to Romeo. You know, Romeo, he's all out aggression. Castro's quick, but he reads those plays pretty well and he knows how to slice into the gap and finish.
He's had some lightning quick scoring in this tournament so far. Jason Castro, 10 points in 19 minutes on game day 1, 21 points in just 18 minutes in game 2, and then 16 points in 19 minutes in game 3.
2 shots.
Only 4 points so far here in the first half, 2 of 6 from the field, but a chance to make his tally look more impressive from the line.
And you talk about players who help their teams. In the 11 minutes Castro's been on the court, the Philippines have outscored Japan by 10 points and make that 11 if he makes this free throw.
11 it is, and we're tied at 31. And Castro ties Blatch as the Philippines' leading scorer now with 6 points, and then takes a seat.
And I just wonder if there's a little bit of an injury concern with Jason Castro, because we saw him rested a lot on opening day. He's been rested quite a bit here.
Japan able to get away from the pressure for now. Tabuse, one-on-one opportunity here. Going in is Takeuchi, out of bounds, and Blatch is hobbling here.
It was a big block, but he landed on his good ankle and he hopped away. So obviously he's pretty tender on that sore ankle.
And maybe that right there is the sign of how badly the Philippines feel they need to win this game. And he continues to play. He got a hand up in front of the shooter, did just about enough. Here comes Abueva at pace down court and gets fouled by Ono.
Well, he's going to get 2 shots, but he's lucky. You know, the defender bailed him out when he was going to have to hit a very tough shot. And I think we talk about spark plugs off the bench like Romeo and Abueva, but they need to play their role. You know, there are times they need to go, but at other times they need to defer to their more experienced players and get through some half-court sets.
Japanese timeout with 33.7 seconds remaining in the first half. We're level at 31 in this pivotal game in the second round here at the FIBA Asia Championships. And Japan playing very well initially, got a lead over the Philippines, but the Philippines have pegged them back. And with Andre Blatch playing on injured, it just shows how badly they feel they need to win this one. 6 points for him, 6 points for Castro to lead the way for the Philippines, 9 points for Makoto Hiyajima and for Ryuna Ono off the bench for Japan, their leading scorers.
It's been a topsy-turvy game as there is Castro. He is just, you talk about the Japanese defenders struggling to stay in front of him. There are bolts of lightning that would struggle to stay in front of Jason Castro. But we look at some of the numbers. Japan up to 8 turnovers now, and that's a real concern for them. You could see their plan from early on. It's make the Philippines execute against 5 defenders in the half court. But if you're turning the ball over 8 times in a half, as we see a couple of very surprised supporters there in the stands when they appear on the big screen. But if you turn the ball over 8 times in a half, that's 8 opportunities for the Philippines to get easy baskets.
The Philippines have taken 7 more shots than their opponent. And they now lead, despite having shot 32% from the floor against 37. Abueva making his free throws, and the Philippines lead 33-31. Final 30 seconds of the first half. 10-second differential between shot and game clock. Here's Matsui. Furukawa. Ono. They're taking time off the clock here. They'll shoot with 5 to go, and they'll put it in with Furukawa. timeout with 10.7 seconds remaining. We're level at 33.
And Japan going with a mobile lineup out of their last timeout, and it left Andre Blatch exposed, and he couldn't keep up with the cut of Furukawa.
We're all set up for what should be a thoroughly entertaining second half here. These two teams trading blows now. We see the Philippines leaders. Abueva now leading scorer for them with 7 points, even though he's only shot 1 of 5 from the field. Terence Romeo 1 of 5 as well. Gabe Norwood 1 of 4. Andre Blatch 3 of 11. Jason Catro 2 of 6. They're not impressive shooting numbers, but here they are level with Japan at 33.
One player who has shot the ball pretty well for the Philippines is René Del Dio Campo, who's at 50% from inside, 50% from outside. Early in the game, they went to him in the low block. He threw 2 really nice assists. When they went to Blatch in the block, they kicked the ball out. He hit the 3-pointer. So I think they need to involve him in the offense a bit more because he's only had 4 field goal attempts.
10.7 seconds for the Philippines to get down court and to try and create a look here off the timeout. Romeo bringing it forward. Driving into the paint, looking to go all the way himself. Tremendous lightning fast move from Terence Romeo at the end of the half, and the Philippines have the edge in what has been a really intriguing back and forth battle here in this pivotal matchup in the second round. The Philippines struggled with the injury to Blatch. They struggled with the Japanese run, but they have come back strong and they have the lead before the half. Japan 33, the Philippines 35, behind the 7 points of Kelvin Abueva and 6 for Blatch and 6 as well for Castro.
Well, we've talked about Terence Romeo and sometimes his instinctive basketball not being best for his team, but gee, he has some natural talent, and that move, the offside dribble, and skying over a bigger defender to finish at the rim. And you talked about the possession game, 6 offensive rebounds to 3 for the Philippines and 8 turnovers to 3 for Japan. So that's 8 more possessions for the Philippines, and that probably explains why they've been able to withstand that run from Japan midway through the first half and then get their noses back in front.
We feared the worst for them when Andre Blatch picked up that ankle injury, and he's been hobbling on it since, but continues to play on. Now you look at the game's leading scorers. Ono, with a huge impact in that Japanese run off the bench, hit 4 straight field goals before missing one for 9 points.
Yeah, and he's exploited perhaps the lack of mobility in the Philippines front court. He's been able to hit those mid-range jump shots, and they've done a good job of getting him the ball in good positions.
Abueva getting that one to drop, leading scorer in the game for the Philippines. That's his only field goal, though. Nice pass under the hoop to Hiyajima. Japan put a tremendous run together at one stage. Blatch went down hurt. And we thought that Japan would be able to rub salt in the wounds. But with Asi Taulava on the floor, the Philippines picked it up. And they were wrestling for every ball as they came back strong.
Yeah, no question they picked up the hustle and just the intensity of their defense. Earlier in the first quarter and early in the second quarter, they went to the zone defense, but they were passive and they allowed Japan to cut them apart. Later in that second quarter when they went to the zone, as we see Andre Blatch coming to help and throw that one out. Later in that second quarter, they went back to a zone, but they were active. They had hands in the passing lanes. They forced some turnovers. And we talked about it in the previous game, that it doesn't matter what defense you're playing, if you're active and you're aggressive, you can turn that into easy scores at the other end.
Expect a back and forth second half in around 10 minutes time. At half time, Japan 33, the Philippines 35.
金马国际篮联全球合作伙伴匹克 iPad Play。
每一滴汗水，为你满意的选择；每一次专注，呵护你所有的幸福；每一次分手，都有我始终如一的品质追求。用心付出，放心收获。用心自然好。湖南粮食集团。
一生有力，吉祥有序，让人人都拥有健康养老保障。
千亿央企，百强文化，文化计划遍及全球，拥有百强海外企业，精益而在深耕，政企携手，繁荣沙场，布局全国。就要百万企业，2015国际篮联亚锦赛高福利产品赞助商。爱国际现代科技全球应将士。就要百万企业，2015国际篮联亚锦赛高福利产品赞助商。爱国际现代科技全球应将士。 湖南建工集团，湖南省首家房屋建筑工程总承包，各级资质企业集团。连续12年入选中国企业500强，连续12年荣获70项中国建设工程5冠奖，致力打造成为集项目投资、运作、实施和经营能力于一体的总服务商、国内建筑业先锋企业。为国家经济和社会发
Welcome back to Chongsha, where the Philippines lead Japan by 2. It's been a back and forth, intriguing contest, and expect plenty more of that in the second half. Japan 33, Philippines 35 as we start the third quarter. Castro to Hontiveros. De Ocampo looking for movement. Blatch coming across, asking for the ball. I think the pass was intended instead for Hontiveros. Blatch grabbed it, trying to bulldoze his way through. And turns the ball over right at the start of the second half.
The Philippines back to their starting 5, and in terms of plus minus, which is whether you've outscored the opposition while you're on the court, they're all in positive territory. And we've talked all tournament about concerns with the Philippines bench, and that's rearing its ugly head again today.
Japan looking for the first score of the second half to try and get level, knocked out to the hands of Hiroshima.
And Hontiveros and Norwood, they have such length and athleticism defensively. And I think the Philippines could do a better job of utilising those skills.
Hiroshima to inbound the ball, caught high by Arrow. They'll put it up from the outside. No good, rebound grab by Hontiveros.
Hontiveros played just 46 seconds in the opening quarter, picked up 2 fouls, sat the rest of the half, so he should be fresh here in the third quarter.
Castro into Blatch. Turned the ball over on his last possession, looking to back in, go to work again inside. This time gets it to go, but look at the reaction. The ankle injury for Andre Blatch. He is really struggling now. We saw it at one point in the second quarter after he'd been down hurt, where he hobbled after making a block, and now after making this shot, he made it one-legged.
That was a trademark shot from Blatch, that high arcing, floating shot. Such nice touch from a big man, but I'm not sure we're going to see him again today. And you talked about the fact he was back out there, showed just how much the Philippines have to win this game with Iran looming in their next encounter. And maybe they will just strap it back up, get him out there if they need him.
Tabuse. Hiroshima. Here's Furukawa. Screen set on the perimeter by Takuche. Furukawa puts it up off the side of the backboard. Offensive board, Tabuse. Won't drop for him. Another offensive board. Arau will put it in.
Just a lack of intensity from the Philippines on the boards. An outstanding defensive job in the corner by Hontiveros, but his teammates let him down.
Here's Hontiveros moving it on to Castro, on to De Ocampo. The Philippines lead by 2. Blatch off the court though, and struggling with that injury as De Ocampo looks to hit from the outside, a miss for him. Furukawa gets it back from Takeuchi, runs through to Arau. Out of bounds, and Philippines ball.
I think they're going to have a discussion about this one. It may have been swiped away from behind. Referees just coming together. And they've changed the call. We'll see here De Ocampo with some quick hands. It's even hard to tell in slow motion whether Arau had another touch after De Ocampo swiped it away.
So still Japanese possession with 14 left on the shot clock. Tabuse faking the three and then driving in was Furukawa. And then with 3 seconds remaining on the shot clock, hung up and hung in by Hiroshima.
Tough shot from Hiroshima, but Hontiveros, his defense on Furukawa, he's shadowing everywhere, over screens, on cuts. It doesn't matter where he goes, Hontiveros is there.
Castro to De Ocampo, trying to attack, able to get into the paint, and then the foul on Hiroshima.
And De Ocampo has played for the national team for a long time. He's an experienced player. We see him here driving to the basket and drawing the foul. He scored 18 points against Argentina last year at the FIBA Basketball World Cup. And this is the time, with Andre Blatch on the bench, that he needs to step up.
Ranadal De Ocampo, 2 of 5 from the field so far for 5 points. And gets a chance to put the Philippines back ahead from the foul line. Misses the first one.
That's the first miss from the free throw line for the game for either team.
Philippines was 7 of 7 before that one. Japan was 6 of 6. And that one edges them ahead. Into the game comes Daiki Tanaka.
Tab Baldwin working the referee on the sidelines. It's a crucial part of the game.
Takeuchi moved on to Tanaka. Tabuse. That's going to be a long 2, short anyway from Furukawa. Norwood comes away with it. Castro towards the baseline, spins back, difficult shot, and he banks it in. Brilliant play from Castro.
He is such a good ball player, Jason Castro. He's only taken 7 shots. You can't help but feel he's going to have to make some more happen in the second half.
It's a long 2 for Japan again. Nothing but net for Tanaka.
That's the first we've really seen of Tanaka tonight, just his second field goal attempt. But he's a player who can heat up quickly.
Castro back to De Ocampo from the outside. He's got another one. And the Philippines lead by 4.
We've got a foul called as well. It's called on the Philippines. There's a little bit of confusion out on the court as to who that has been whistled on and whose ball it is. In fact, the foul, I believe, was called there on Aral, pushing Taulava out of the way on the rebounding contest. So the Philippines get the basket and another opportunity.
Castro driving away, and in the blink of an eye, he's able to finish.
Oh, he turned the basketball court into a dance floor on that move. What a sensational finish.
Tabuse, he pulls up for the long 2, can't hit. And the Philippines have a 6-point lead and a chance to add to it here. Starting to find a bit of momentum with Castro right at the heart of it. Onto the left hand, spinning away. Flips it up, couldn't get that one to go. Tabuse. Out to the far side to Furukawa. Can't hit, rebound grab by De Ocampo.
He finally got some space from Hontiveros on that one, but he couldn't make him pay.
Castro to Taulava. Taulava looking to back in and go one-on-one. Help defense comes across and he throws a high pass out of bounds and out of the reach of Hontiveros.
Now Taulava there had the opportunity, as we see a timeout on the floor, with the Philippines leading 45-39. And Taulava there had the opportunity, a dribble handoff to Castro. He didn't give it, he took it himself, and the turnover results.
Japan 39, Philippines 45 as we get ready to come back off the timeout towards the midway point of the 3rd quarter. It's been an enthralling contest from the very start, and Jason Castro's just started to take charge.
He has, and they've gone back to basics. A lot of their offense involving Castro and De Ocampo, the ball screen at the top of the key. And Japan haven't been able to stop Castro getting to the basket. We talked about that last play. Taulava could have given it off to Castro, who's on fire. Tried to create himself. That's not what the Philippines need. They need basic basketball. And now with Castro having a rest on the bench, somebody else is going to have to step up and make those plays.
So no Castro, no Blatch on the court for the Philippines. They have a little bit of breathing room, but not a lot, and even less now.
Yeah, tough shot from Furukawa. Again, Hontiveros all over him. He's able to softly drop it off the glass.
Hontiveros to Norwood.
3-2 zone from Japan.
There Campo across to Romeo, pulls away for the open 3 and knocks it down. Romeo able to hit his second from the outside.
The best way to break a team out of a zone, hit the 3-point shot.
Japan tried to answer back with one. Unable to hit, but they do get an offensive board.
And they get it back because Gabe Norwood was already leaking out trying to get a cheap basket. He didn't box out to secure the board.
The three for Furukawa this time, another miss from downtown for Japan.
It's like a foul called on Mark Pingras here underneath on the rebounding contest.
A couple of misses from the outside for Japan, and they get away with it really for now. They're 3 of 16 from three-point range, 19%.
Tab Baldwin, we saw him on the screen taking a drink. Two basic mistakes, one from Norwood, one from Pingras, and Japan get a third opportunity at this offense.
Takeuchi, he's struggling, Takeuchi. Romeo.
Good decision from Romeo that time. Didn't force it, gets it into the hands of some other players.
De Ocampo looking to continue his strong performance, can't finish that time. Japan down by 7. And hoping to close the gap here with Castro and Blatch off court for the Philippines. Nice little bounce pass. They can't get the roll, they do get the offensive board. Takeuchi moves it back and they'll start again. Tabuse.
Mismatch inside.
They'll shoot the three again. It's another miss from the outside. It's another offensive rebound. And Takeuchi does get going. Only his second field goal of the game.
And you talk about the absence of Andre Blatch being shown there. 3 or 4 offensive rebounds in a row until Japan finally score.
Foul on Tabuse. It's number 3 on him. In comes Hirose.
Hashimoto into the game for the first time, and it's at a point where the Philippines can extend this lead out. They could get this out to 10 points by three-quarter time. I think Hashimoto into the game to change the pace a little bit.
Toss to Hontiveiros, to Norwood. Norwood pressed against the near side, found a way out to Pingras. Shot clock down to 4 now. Pingras going to go to work. Can't squeeze it in. Toss grabs the offensive board, and then there's a foul on Otto.
And Toss has given some valuable minutes early on in this game. He was into the game earlier than we expected. Does his second offensive rebound. He converted the first one into a basket. This time he gets to the free throw line.
He did have 8 points in 12 minutes in game 3. Sonny Toss, 4 of 5 from the field, 4 points in each of the first 2 games. And making a small yet important contribution here today. Has 3 points as he misses the second one.
And that's what this level of basketball is all about. Having role players make small but important contributions. And so far they've got that from Pingras, they've got that from De Ocampo. Let's see if players like Romeo and Abueva can also step up in the second half.
Takeuchi, shot clock's down to 3 here, knocked away by Norwood, and he's able to grab it on the baseline.
Great body control from Norwood to stop himself falling out of bounds after he'd secured the steal.
Hontiveiros to shoot the 3. Rebound grabbed by Hirose.
Expect to see Jason Castro back into the ball game soon. Pivotal part in the game. If the Philippines can extend this lead out in the last 2 minutes of the quarter, then they're in a prime position.
Hirose unable to bank it in. Romeo will look to speed away down court now. 3 on 3. Able to cling onto it under pressure. Puts up the long 2 and puts it in.
Straight from the playground to the FIBA Asia Championship. A spin move into a three-pointer and extends the margin to 9.
9-point Philippines lead. Final 2 minutes of the third quarter. Really big 2 minutes this in terms of the momentum going into the fourth, and it's rolled off the fingertips of Diki Tanaka.
Great move from Tanaka. He's given them a little burst in this third quarter, and that's probably been the difference between the Philippines blowing this out and Japan staying in touch.
Romeo off the mark from downtown that time, more conventionally. And a foul in transition on Norwood. It's his second.
And this was a smart move because Hashimoto is lightning. We talked about him before the game, and this fella's pretty quick too. Look at him spinning to the three-point shot. That's just natural talent. You can't teach that.
Only 7 of 29 from the field over the first 2 games, and then hit 19 points in game 3. That one won't drop for Hashimoto, but he'll get the foul.
He was that quick on that move. He disappeared from the three-point line. He reappeared at the basket. He draws a foul.
The first one missed by Hashimoto. Japan only down by 7. Trying to edge closer towards the end of the third quarter and do reduce the arrears to 6.
Japan in the zone, 1-2-2 zone, looking to put a bit of pressure on the ball.
Romeo and Castro both on the floor for the Philippines. Romeo looking to get away from Hashimoto. Able to find a waiver, just rejected by Takeuchi, and then grabbed by Romeo, who puts it up from the foul line. Can't get it to go, and Otta comes away with it.
Inexperience from Romeo, should have pulled that out and made the most of the 24-second shot clock.
On by Hashimoto. Hirose. Shot clock down to 5 here. Hirose up against Toss and a foul.
I thought Toss played some pretty good defense there. He anticipated Hirose going to the basket. I think he's worn that one to the numbers, but once the whistle blows, the decision is final, and that's the 4th team foul on the Philippines. So the next one will be in the bonus.
Takeuchi had the big block at the other end. Japan need to build on the offensive end now. Takeuchi intercepted by Romeo. He's going to turn on the afterburners and he's going to lay it up and in.
You got to take the good with the bad with Terence Romeo. He makes some bad decisions, but he's an energizer bunny, and he makes a great play there to extend the margin to 8.
Shot clock turned off at the end of the third. Philippines lead by 6 to make it 8 after that last basket. Japan looking to reduce it to 6, or maybe even to 5. The 3 at the buzzer off the mark from Hirose. So the Philippines have a bit of breathing room to take into the 4th quarter. Still a very close game here though, and a game that you really feel they have to win to have real quarter-final ambitions. Terence Romeo comes up with a big steal and finish right towards the end of the 3rd quarter, and now has 12 points to lead his team. At the end of 3, Japan 46, the Philippines 54.
And we spoke before the game, the speedy Japanese point guards, the Japanese big men, could they handle the pace of the Philippines point guards? And so far, Castro and Romeo with 22 of the 54 points for the Philippines. But I think the tale of that quarter was defensively for the Philippines. They held Japan to just 13 points, and with Andre Blatch out of the game with that ankle injury, they were able to be a lot more aggressive defensively. They had more players who could switch screens, more players who could get into the passing lanes, and you see the result, 13 turnovers for Japan so far, just 6 for the Philippines. And once again, as we see here where the injury happens, or the re-injury happens to Andre Blatch with this little fall-away rainbow shot. He was out of the game after that, but the Philippines didn't lose any ground. In fact, they've made some ground with this more mobile lineup.
Japan now need to find a response in the 4th quarter. Trailing by 8 points. Castro with a tremendous performance at times in that 3rd quarter, 4 of 9 for the field for 10 points. And Romeo providing a spark as well. And what a pivotal and important play that could be at the end of the 3rd quarter for Tab Baldwin's team.
And with their reserve unit struggling in the half court, it's so important that they are aggressive defensively and they force those turnovers, because when you get the likes of Romeo, Gamuelos, Abueva in the open court, there aren't too many of the Japanese players who can keep up with them.
Japan 46, the Philippines 54 at the start of the quarter. Fourth quarter it is now.
I think they've got to get Joji Takeuchi involved here.
Shot off the mark, Romeo grabs the rebound. Romeo looking to go through the gears, meander through the defense, turning into trouble, trapped by the double team, and they're able to steal.
Tanaka again making an impact.
Tenacious Tanaka for Japan. Driving in towards the hoop for an easy two is Hiroshima.
And it would be frustrating being a Philippines fan. They produce some good basketball and then a horrible defensive breakdown there, giving up a layup.
Abueva back to Romeo, across to the far side to Castro. Abueva looking to attack against his opposite number and draws the contact.
We actually saw a full ball reversal on that offense from the Philippines. We haven't seen that too many times tonight, but it puts pressure on the defense, and Ota couldn't be in position there to defend the Abueva drive.
Abueva back at the line, where he's 5 of 5, make it 6 of 6. Only 1 of 5 from the field, but he's made his foul shots. Seven points. There's the Philippines lead. The number 8 can't make it 8 points. Japan coming down court and hoping to close the gap here. Hashimoto into Takeuchi. Hiroshima, their leading scorer with 13. That's a wonderful pass inside. And this time it's Abueva who fouls Ota.
Some really nice execution there from Japan, and Hiroshima so often in this tournament, he's been the spark plug. Often it's with scoring, but that time, really nice timing on the ball screen and perfect timing on the pass.
Ota hits the first from the foul line, and each one of these is big for Japan now. It could be that type of game where it comes down to free throw shooting numbers. And he gets them both. Japan have only missed one from the line.
Andre Blatch and Ranadel Diocampo back into the game for the Philippines. You talk about Castro and Diocampo. When they've been on the court, the Philippines have outscored Japan by 16. So it's been a very marked difference between when that pair is on and when they're sitting on the bench.
Blatch, who's been feeling that ankle time and time again, continues to play. Romeo into Blatch now, across to Castro. No problems with his ankles at the moment, and a foul on Otto.
3-second call, in fact, on Diocampo.
Diocampo camped in the lane, and they turn it over.
I like that offense, though. Inside to Blatch, drew the double team, found the open shooter. He probably doesn't, with his ankle, he probably can't make a lot of moves, but he will still draw attention. On that occasion, Castro should have fired the three-pointer.
Just a 5-point game. Japan looking to make it a 1-possession game. Maybe just a 2-point game. The 3 is short. Rebound Abueva and a foul on Ota.
In fact, I think it's been called against the Philippines. It's on Diocampo. As a number of rebounding fouls against the Philippines at their defensive end of the floor.
Second on Diocampo. So still Japan ball. Ota. Hashimoto. They'll put up the long 2. A miss and a controlling rebound from Diocampo. Now Abueva racing down court, gets the contact, very nearly a chance at a 3-point play.
How about that for a move? That's just instinctive basketball. They call him the Beast, and he attacked with energy there. And talk about basketball being a possession game. It's 6 offensive rebounds to Japan to just 1 to the Philippines since half-time. The Philippines were controlling the possession game in the first half, and Japan have been able to grind it back their way and get themselves back within 5.
3 more offensive boards over the course of the game for Japan, but 5 more turnovers. And Japan have taken just 1 more shot than their opponents. 4th foul on Otter. So in comes Yuma Ono. Otter takes a seat.
It's interesting that Hontiveros is still on the bench here. Yeah, he's doing such an outstanding defensive job, and he's a good three-point shooter. I'd expect him to be back in shortly.
Romeo. Blatch keeps pointing for it to go across to the near side to Abueva, who's going to shoot the 3. Blatch trying to go for the offensive board. Wasn't much spring in those ankles.
Oh, good
And
pass.
that's a wonderful feed, and it leaves Takeuchi with a simple 2.
And Tanaka again making things happen for Japan. The timing on that pass to hit a streaking big man, it's not easy to do.
Takeuchi into double figures. Here's Blatch. Let's see what he can do. Trapped by the double team on the baseline, trying to find a way out. Twisting and turning. Rejected by Takeuchi, who comes up with a big play at the other end too.
This game has swung on its head the last 3 or 4 minutes. Japan have to make the most of this momentum they've now got.
Foul on De Campo. That's his 3rd. Takeuchi's really started to come alive.
Yeah, and that's his bread and butter down in the low post. And this was pretty good too, the swat on Blatch. It was a nice move from Blatch to create an opening. And here we see Tanaka, look at that pass, a touch pass to the big man down the middle.
Takeuchi now with 10 points, 3 of 8 from the field. Hashimoto, final 7 minutes of the game. Hiroshima looking to attack, forced away from the foul line, only 3 left to shoot. He puts up the 3. It's short, and Blatch is able to grab a rebound.
Hontiveros back into the game, and some outstanding defense there again.
In towards Blatch here, can he finish this time? Hesitation, gets the defense up in the air and draws contact.
You just hold your breath every time he jumps and lands on that ankle. He looks so proppy, but yet he's out there, he's still getting up and down the floor.
You only have to look at Andre Blatch playing with this injury to see how important this game is. You don't need us to tell you. Really is walking wounded. The position the Philippines are in, they face Iran next. Iran, the strongest team in the tournament right now. If they're to lose that one, then they face a must-win game against India. The winner of that would go through.
Yeah, but then potentially face China in the quarterfinals. You know, they want to avoid that at all costs. I think you look at Takeuchi, he's up to a double-double, 10 points, 10 boards, and I think it's time perhaps to use Blatch as a 3-point shooter. Spot him out at the top, see whether Takeuchi stays under the basket or comes out to guard him.
3-point game. Hiroshima attacking aggressively and putting it in with the left hand.
They're staying in touch. 2-point ball game. The pressure's starting to mount. We've got a 1-2-2 zone here.
Philippines have 56 points, not 55. De Campo is fouled on the perimeter.
And Japan in this zone, but they're looking very aggressive. They're daring the Philippines to reverse the ball. And you see Hiroshima, he was sweating on that pass. He just didn't quite get his timing right.
Still 6:18 to play, and that's foul number 4 on Hiroshima, Japan's leading scorer.
We haven't seen much of Tabusi at all in this second half. Hashimoto into the game. Coach Hasegawa must feel like he's doing a good job. He's going with him.
De Campo hitting his first from the line. The Philippines only shooting 67% from the foul line, 12 of 18. That could be the difference when it's all said and done. And another miss. Blatch trying to get the rebound. Out of bounds it is, Philippines ball.
Great job by Blatch. I was wondering why he was in there for the board. Perhaps he should have been back ready to play defense, but he produces the result there.
We've got a timeout with 6 minutes and 16 seconds remaining in the game, called by coach Tab Baldwin. Japan trail by 3, 54-57, the Philippines lead. So Japan down by 3, led by the 15 points of Hiyajima, and he's playing now on those 4 fouls. Only 2 in double figures, 10 points for Takeuchi now, a double-double with 10 rebounds as well, and 3 in double figures for the Philippines, 12 points for Terence Romeo, on 5 of 11 shooting, 10 apiece for Jason Castro and for Ranidal de Ocampo. Hontiveros to Castro. Castro looking to attack to the foul line, over to the far side. The 3 no good for de Ocampo, and a rebound Ono.
One-on-one out the top there for Castro. I would have liked to have seen de Ocampo involved in an on-ball screen because that worked well for them in the first half.
Hashimoto. Matsui. Hashimoto again, shot clock's already down to 5. Going to make a drive in towards the paint. Now difficult shot, what a move from Ryomata Hashimoto.
He took the contact, he was off balance, but he still got it up somehow, and it fell in.
And Japan within 1.
Philippines struggling against this zone.
Blatch going to drive in, switches onto his left foot. The ankles look okay right now as he puts it in.
He had the footwork of a ballet dancer on that one, the change of direction, and then takes the contact. And look at that soft touch. We take it for granted when Andre Blatch does it, but at 211 centimeters, that's tough to do.
I'm just glad he's wearing the basketball uniform. He completes the 3-point play, and the Philippines lead by 4, midway point of the 4th quarter. Blatch now into double figures, so 4 for the Philippines at that milestone. Hashimoto after that circus shot on the last possession.
Philippines switching screens here.
Number 5, Gabriel.
Third foul on Norwood.
Third personal foul of the game. Team foul.
I'd like to see a little isolation for Takeuchi to test out the lateral speed of Blatch on this possession.
Oh, not away from Matsui and out of bounds off Norwood. Norwood reading it, getting in front of Matsui.
We've had some issues with the shot clock. Tipped away by Gabe Norwood, but he didn't take possession of the basketball.
Tanaka set to inbound for Japan. Right on the midway point of the 4th quarter. They're down by 4. Final 10 seconds of the shot clock. They're going to shoot the 3 and nail the 3 to get within 1 again.
Andre Blatch gambling defensively. He left Takeuchi open and he can hit that shot.
Blatch. Let's see if he can drive inside again, draws the double team and draws the contact.
And that's 2 free throws to come.
Fouls on to Japan. Number 184.
You see the gamble there from Blatch. He left Takeuchi open and he is multi-skilled. He can score inside, he can drive, and he can hit the jumper.
4 of 9 from the field now. Takeuchi for 13 points. Blatch now on 13 himself. 3 of 4 from the foul line. And 1 more coming. We've doubted his fitness at times. You certainly can't doubt his commitment playing on that ankle injury.
No doubt about that.
4.5 to play. Philippines up by 3 after both foul shots made by Andre Blatch.
Gabe Norwood is wearing Matsui like a cheap suit at the moment.
Matsui had to move it on to Hashimoto. Ran into Blatch, knocks him to the floor, moved on to the corner. The long 2 no good for Tanaka, but an offensive board, and he gets it to go in the second attempt.
That looked like an offensive foul as he crashed into Andre Blatch, but I think the referees thought it was like the old Shaquille O'Neal rule. You can't knock Shaq over, he must have flopped.
Norwood touch towards Blatch. Blatch waiting to pick his moment. trying to get between two of them. Difficult shot high off the glass.
He had Hontiveros open at the top of the key there. He could have found his shooter wide open.
A chance for Japan to take the lead. It's been a very tight game for the vast majority. Back and forth throughout this second half as Japan looked to get ahead again. Blatch grabs another rebound.
And the thing keeping the Philippines in the game at the moment is the defense on the wings from Hontiveros and Norwood. They are on Matsui and Tanaka and just not giving them an inch.
Castro to Hontiveros into Blatch. He's going to go to work again. This time he creates some space and puts it in. The Philippines lead by 3.
Nice cut from Blatch, but a lovely recognition from Hontiveros to fire the pass into the gap in the zone.
Ono. Tanaka to Matsui. Slipping to the floor as he's able to move it on to Takeuchi. They go around the perimeter for the 3. And Hashimoto hits from the outside to tie the game.
Huge shot from Hashimoto. He's shooting 40% from range this tournament, and he continues that form with a big shot there to tie the game.
Doubles his tally for the game to 6. Castro creating the space as he kicks it back out. Deo Campo answers back with a big blow for the Philippines.
Huge shot from Deo Campo. He shot 42% from range at this tournament 2 years ago. He's definitely stepped up tonight. This is his best game of the tournament so far.
His 3rd from downtown, final 2 minutes. Hashimoto lost the ball and then there's a foul taken to deny the fast break.
A clever foul. Tab Baldwin calling for unsportsmanlike. He thought it was a breakaway foul. Before that, Jason Castro got his hands in. He was also walking the fine line between a foul and a steal. Here's that big shot from Hashimoto, and it seems the Philippines have seemed to be in control for a lot of this second half, but Japan just seemed to come up with those big plays. Every time it looks like the margin's about to extend out.
Only Japan's 5th from the outside from 21 attempts. The Philippines just 6 of 20 from downtown. But both teams making big 3-pointers over the course of the last few seconds.
Interesting substitution for the Philippines with Mark Pingras coming in for Renadel Deo Campo, and you would imagine with the form Deo Campo's in, that's just going to be a quick one, but there's only 2 minutes left in the game. Surely he could stay out there.
Norwood missing one from the line. Misses them both. Blatch battling for the ball, but Japan will come away with it. And then almost lost it, and they get away with it. If the Philippines win this one, they'll get away with their free throw shooting because they're 63% from the foul line.
Well, incredible substitutions because Norwood and Hontiveros out of the ball game. Ganuelos and Abueva in. You know, those two have been such a key, as had Deo Campo, and this is a key possession for Japan. They've got to make the most of it here.
Tabuse, final 100 seconds. Tabuse puts it up off the mark. Takeuchi can't grab the rebound, and Castro comes away with it.
And the Philippines dodge a bullet. Pingras not covering on that screen.
Blatch to Castro for 3. Too long. Offensive board though for Abueva, and he's tangled up.
Big board from Abueva, and Ganuelos gives him a push just to say great job. But now he's only half the job is done. He's got to make these free throws and extend it beyond a 1-possession ball game. That was a beast of an offensive rebound there from Abueva.
He made his first 6 shots from the foul line and he's missed his last 3. He's able to hit that one though. The Philippines as a team, 16 of 25 from the line now. 9 potentially costly misses. Let's see if Abueva can get the second. He's already made it a 2-possession game. And does get them both.
Big free throws, big play from Abueva.
The timeout called with 1 minute and 23 seconds to play. The Philippines leading 69 to 64. And Calvin Abueva becomes the 5th player into double figures for them. There's still more than enough time for Japan to turn this one around, but if they were to face defeat, then they would fall to 1 and 2 and be left with games against Palestine and Hong Kong.
Both of which are winnable games for Japan. So they, if they do fall here, they'd be disappointed, but they've gone up against a quality opponent, one who's expected to be into the quarterfinal stage, and they've gone with them blow for blow. So the key for them is to back up. And Palestine, they're a good team. One of the surprises, they fell to India today, but they would fancy their chances of being able to execute and beat Japan because the Philippines have such size inside, which Japan perhaps will struggle to match.
Andre Blatch continues to provide the size inside for the Philippines despite that injury. Team high 16 points despite at times almost playing on one leg. That's what the Philippines need right now to carry them through this one. It's been a really tough contest.
Perhaps look for Ono here. He made some big shots in the first half, although it looks like Pingras has pinned to him defensively.
Hiroshima puts it in, playing on 4 fouls, makes it a 1-possession game.
And doesn't he have a habit of hitting some big shots too?
Final minute of this pivotal second round game coming up.
1-2-2 zone again.
Here is Blatch.
It collapses into the keyway. Look at all those Japanese defenders.
Through the legs and a pirouette to the baseline too, and tips it back in as well. Andre Blatch coming up big in the final minute, now has 18.
What a move. What a move and what a finish. He had 3 Japanese defenders around him, but he just has that ability to shift his body from right to left while still having the poise to put the ball softly off the glass.
And the tip as well makes it a double-double, 18 points and 10 rebounds. It looks like the ankle's improving, and at the perfect time for the Philippines. They lead by 5 with 52.8 seconds to play.
Well, the Philippines have put their eggs in the Andre Blatch basket tonight. They were hoping that they could get over this game. He'll be able to rest tomorrow against Iran and get that ankle right. And so far, it looks like the gamble is paying off.
The Philippines just about edging it behind the 18 points of Blatch, the 13 for De Ocampo, who's hit 3 big 3-pointers, 12 for Terence Romeo, who's 5 of 11 from the field despite struggling at times with his shooting in this tournament, and 10 apiece for Jason Castro and for Calvin Abueva. It is still far from over.
Things can change very quickly. A 3-pointer on this possession, even a 2-pointer, brings it back to a 1-possession game. We saw Coach Hasegawa drawing up his play. Looked like he wanted a quick ball reversal. Maybe from there we'll see baseline penetration or a quick pick and roll or pick and pop with Takeuchi. Tabuse back into the game.
Let's see if Japan can execute here. 45 seconds to play. Hiroshima up against Blatch, goes around him. Hiroshima attacking and missing, and the Philippines come away with it, and time is running out for Japan now. And they have to foul Japan.
The execution was outstanding. Exactly what we saw Coach Hasegawa put on his coaching board. But Andre Blatch on one leg, what a great job of switching the ball screen and then ghosting with Hiroshima all the way to the basket, just doing enough to intimidate that shot.
Castro hitting from the foul line. And this one would make it a 3-possession game. No mistake from Castro.
Philippines up the floor defensively.
Hiroshima fakes the 3 across to the corner. They turn it over, and that should surely now do it.
And an excellent job there from Mark Pingras. Ono had the open shot. He forced him to put it on the floor, and then he recovered and just put enough doubt in his mind to force him to make an errant pass.
There, Campo. Plays out of the pressure to Norwood, and Blatch will cling on to it.
He needs a
for
double
the final
team here.
few seconds.
In fact, Japan they've put the cue in the rack for this one.
What a performance from Andre Blatch, playing on one leg at times after going down hurt with what looked a severe ankle injury. The Philippines in deep, deep trouble, sent up the Blatch signal, and he might need the Blatchmobile to carry him out of the arena, but he puts in a superhero performance when they really needed it. 18 points and 10 rebounds, the double-double playing on one leg for Andre Blatch, and the Philippines win it 73-66.
Well, an outstanding performance from the Philippines. They were in dire straits midway through that second quarter. It was Castro and Diocampo who swung the tide, got them back into the ball game. The defense of Norwood and Hontiveros was crucial in the final quarter, and then at the end it was Blatch who came back into the game to deliver victory.
5 in double figures for the Philippines as they win it 73-66.
Well, the Philippines breathe easy after a real challenge there. You know, they've been in that situation against Palestine. There must have been some nervous moments down the stretch. We look at those stats. The offensive rebounds, Japan did a fantastic job, particularly in that third quarter. That was how they stalled the momentum. They kept the Philippines pinned on defense, but the difference was some of those turnovers. 15-8. An outstanding job by the Philippines. 8 turnovers in 40 minutes of basketball is outstanding. And we see there Hiyojima, wasn't he fantastic? Takeuchi, offensively, he didn't quite get off the chain, but 11 rebounds is an impressive performance. And you see there 13 points. Ono was impressive. He had a burst early in the game with 9 points. Romeo there with 12. He was hot, he was cold, he was up, he was down. But when he gets the ball, he's certainly exciting.
Diocampo providing a bit of something extra for the Philippines as well. 13 points and 5 rebounds. One of those 5 in double figures, along with 12 for Terence Romeo, 10 for Abueva, 12 for Castro, and the 18 of Blatch, who also had those 10 rebounds despite suffering that ankle injury. And Terence Romeo played a big part as well. 5 of 11 from the field, perhaps his most efficient game of the tournament so far.
And how about that move? That's an outstanding move. Shook the defense and then finished over a bigger opponent. We see this one too, spinning to the three-point shot. It was one of those shots where the coach would be thinking, bad shot, bad shot. It drops through the net. It's a great shot. Here he is again, and you know, he's a young player. He's been brought in to bring that spark that used to come from Jimmy Alapeg, who was the heart and soul of the Philippines team. This man, Hiyojima, he's also the heart and soul at times for Japan.
Hiyojima had 17, 8 of 14 from the field. Only 2 in double figures for Japan, though, and the 13 for Takeuchi, who had a double-double with 11 rebounds. And it's coach Tab Baldwin's team who pick up the win in this pivotal game in the second round, move to 2-1. Japan fall to 1-2.
There's been some question marks over the Philippines, but it now looks like Andre Blatch and his team will move through to the quarterfinals. It's not set yet, but I think we're going to see them in knockout action. Can they get back to that sort of consistent form that took them to the gold medal game in 2013 and made them a revelation at last year's Basketball World Cup?
It's the Philippines celebrating. At the end of this one, they win it 73-66.